Coogan KESSLER for iFILM London. What you got, Ed?
Got a little bit.
2 belts.
Got some bling. Got some bling, son.
Are you taking them home?
No.
What a night for you.
Oh, mate.
I don't know. Listen, what a night for your fighters.
Yeah.
You got Bellew.
You know what? Don't forget about Tony Bellew. So proud of him tonight. He took so much stick after that first Isaac Chilemba fight. You know, and he came out and he accepted an almost immediate rematch with a short camp. And you know what? He put it on Chilemba tonight. Chilemba is a slippery little eel, and he grabbed it off him, and now he's going to get a WBC title shot. But you know, George Groves, fantastic again, brilliant knockout. Callum Smith, Martin Ward, and of course the main man, Carl Froch. You know, I mean, you always hope that the fight lives up to expectation, but that just exceeded everything, didn't it? I mean, on the 8th, the 11th, the 12th, I mean, it's unbelievable.
How wide do you think the scoring was?
I had it by 3 or 4 rounds.
So you think 180, 110 was a bit harsh?
It was. Yeah. There was a lot of close rounds, but I had it 3 or 4 rounds. But I still, when I got into the ring at the end, I was still half nervous. I knew we'd won, well, I felt we'd won, but you just never know. You know, at the end of the day, your career, Carl's career, is in the hand of judges who you don't really know. So, but what a massive night for British boxing, you know.
Eddie, just some quick questions. I know you've got to go. Will you look to make the Andre Ward fight for Carl's next fight, or possibly?
I said it before, you know, Andre Ward's a fantastic fight. He needs Carl Froch. Carl Froch doesn't need Andre Ward. He's got 2 of these little babies. I don't even know if Andre's got 1, but you know, people call for Mikael KESSLER, Carl Froch 3. That's a massive fight now. George Groves is coming up strong on a blind side. Bernard Hopkins is very vocal about a fight. Do you know what we're going to do? We're going to go away, we're going to relax, we're going to soak it all up. And you know what, Carl Froch, I said before, you've heard me say it before, he's a legend. You know what I mean? And tonight, I think people will start understanding what I mean by that. If you don't say now he's a legend of British boxing, then you're talking rubbish, because he's unbelievable. What a chin.
Are we a step closer to perhaps seeing Groves and Froch? Is this tonight?
Yeah, I think George. You know, I think George is one big win away from fighting for a world title. You know, he's top 5 in nearly every governing body. Domestically, that's a big fight. But you know, right now it's just sit back, soak it up, and just so proud of him.
So we've got to wait for the situation with Chad Dawson and Adonis Stevenson before the Tony Bellew, but he's got that massive.
He's fighting a winner.
He's fighting a winner.
He's fighting a winner.
So that'll be next year, really, won't it?
No, well, probably be sort of October, November, December, really. Yeah. June the 8th is that fight, so that's in 2 weeks' time.
So it'll be the back end of the year.
Yeah. So brilliant for Tony. You know, I mean, he took so much stick after that Chilemba fight. It's not always his fight. If some, you know, it's his fault if someone doesn't really come to fight or fights like that. And tonight he just wouldn't take no for an answer.
Right, just finally, just a message to the people that bought the pay-per-views, that come to the O2 Arena, that supported Carl Froch, you know, throughout this whole saga.
You know, the most pleasing thing is that you feel tonight was a night where everyone who turned up was in love with boxing, and even if they were borderline, even if they were casual fans, they fell in love with boxing, maybe for the first time or maybe all over again, and that pleases me more than anything. The 12th round, 19,000 people stood up and applauded. Even Wayne Rooney was going nuts in the second row. Do you know what I mean? It just, of course, the win for Carl means so much to all of us, but for me, for the growth of British boxing, that was such a huge, huge night. You know, and we're going to go away and we're going to keep building this team and we're going to keep growing this sport, and Carl Froch is going to be back for another huge fight later this year.
Alright, finally, have you retired the roll neck? Yes or no?
Yeah.
No, but are we going to see the roll neck again?
Probably not. Right. Maybe with jeans, but with a suit. Rascal. Don't know what I was thinking. Hashtag JRUing.
Eddie Hearn, thank you very much.
No, do you know what it is?
Look at this.
Hang on, we're talking shoes tonight. Wow. Now, I mean, I've got the shinies on tonight rather than the rascals.
He's making a habit of this,
I know.
isn't he?
You know, you've got the shinies over your pecs here, look.
Yes.
I mean, how amazing was that tonight?
Unbelievable.
That was do you know, I mean, I've got to say, 20 years I've covered boxing, and I think that ranks with all the big Hatton fights with Mayweather, Packer, the atmosphere, all that Joe Calzaghe with KESSLER, Joe Calzaghe with Jeff Lacey. It left you with the feeling that this is why you love this sport.
What I just said to Coogan is, whether you were casual fans, whether you were bored, you left tonight in love with the sport of boxing.
And I've got to say, I am, and I said so on Sky, a couple of journalists were on after the broadcast with Andy. I'm so delighted for Carl. Yeah. I'm even delighted he made the headlines for the wrong reasons this week as well. Because Carl really did cross her over into the mainstream tonight. Defining fight on a night when everyone knew about it in the country. Big stage against a great opponent in a brilliant boxing match. I mean, but I just think you should get him in with Hopkins before he fights Ward. I know you disagree with me, and that's what I wanted to ask you about, but I'll let Coogan finish off with you. But I think
after that little speech, Gareth, I think I might be giving you a job, to be honest with you.
How much where do we start? 80,000 to do nothing. That's where we start. So we start at 80,000 to do nothing.
No, Frank Smith's on about 10% of that. Where is he?
New signing on Monday as well.
What, Gareth Davis?
Is that the new signing?
No, Tuesday we'll announce a new signing because it's a bank holiday on Monday.
All right. Eddie Hearn, peace out.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
I've got to get in on these all the time.